What's good? Welcome back to another episode of The Highlight Reel. As you can see, today I have a special guest. I've been looking forward to this episode for a while. Ma'am, I'm going to go ahead and let you introduce yourself. Go ahead.
You make me feel so special.
As I should. Go ahead.
My name is Qiantria, but people call me Q.
Right.
Or Key, either or.
All right. Tell the people where we are right now.
We're at my baby.
Yes. We are at Capanova.
The home.
Do we call this one Capanova USA? Capanova?
Yeah, this is our home base in a way.
Home base?
Or headquarters, if you want to call it quote unquote headquarters.
Okay.
Everything comes to Cincinnati first. So.
And where's the other store at?
It is in Los Angeles, California.
Yes.
424 North Fairfax, right there around Cantors and Gulf Wing, those Supreme, you can find us over there.
Shout out to LA for the other location and everything. Yes. As you can see, we are in a place of culture, a place that has some really cool hats. That's actually where I got this hat from that I'm wearing. She got her hat in here as well. So we're definitely going to get more into the store and everything because this is actually one of the coolest stores to me. So,
thank you.
Yeah, we definitely gonna talk more about that. But I really want to start off with how you even got into this. Like, how did you? So, like, where did
or fashion? Where
fashion?
You want to start it
Let's
from?
start with fashion.
Well, fashion, I've always been like a very big fan of fashion, but for me, it was always streetwear. Hip hop culture heavily influences fashion, as you can see, like with Off-Whites, you can see with the Supremes, you can see with even Bathing Ape, like all of those hoodie brands, t-shirt brands that you get $250 for, those all started off of hip hop culture in a way. So for me, I've always been like very heavily influenced into hip hop in general. And with me loving fashion, bridging the gap between those two things, I've kind of like made my own lane for that. So I say about 17, 18, I started working at Buckle.
Okay.
At this era of Buckle,
Rock
Revival, Miss Me Jean, Mech jeans, all of those different denim were very popular. So at my time of actually getting into merchandise, I was able to witness people buying $185 jeans. So
from Buckle, right?
Yeah, and that was like that was on a humble. Right. Like, I mean, people were coming in. Shout out to Manal. I had like some great bosses who, like, they really was showing me like, nah, like you could sell anything to anybody for real.
If you know how to do it.
If you really know how to do it and you make people want to buy into this fantasy, like Buckle was this upper echelon type of like aspect of a way, but it wasn't like a Nordstrom. It still had that edge to it. So being at Buckle introduced me into like, the price margin on things and already having that desire to want to be in fashion. Those two things went hand in hand. On top of my mom always playing me like a little baby doll. So like growing up, I wasn't one of the kids on Easter that wore the big frilly dresses with the frilly socks. We were in like bust down Echo Red velour sweatsuits with like
oh wow. So
fresh forces, like, so it was
that's
always
more hip hop culture. Yeah,
it was always heavily influenced. I wasn't a girly girl in a way.
Okay.
But I was the hood chic in a sense. And just bridging off of that, going from Buckle to then ending up as one of the managers at Exclusive Wear, that's when it really turned up because Exclusive has been around since 2002. And one thing about Exclusive is they've been able to either create a trend or stay on top of a trend. So being in that atmosphere and being around like Jay and Congo and actually seeing them be like, either we need to figure out what's new or we got to create what is new. Going to shows with them, being able to be introduced to like Versace and Dolce & Gabbana and even Moschino, like even out to the Rockstar denim. Remember Rockstar jeans was very popular.
Yeah.
They were literally have dinner with the owners of Rockstar. So it was like being able to see the way they connected with those different brands and was able to create, a relationship that kind of made their store be its own entity, Like, you're not going to go in another store and find another exclusive. You're not going to get that same community-driven people. You're not going to get that same atmosphere. So being able to adapt, like, my professionalism from Buckle and then the culture aspect, but still being true to yourself on top of being professional too through exclusive, that's kind of what helped Capanova.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So that's both of those experiences helped to birth this.
Yes.
Okay. Now, we're obviously about to get into Capanova. Where did that name come from first off?
My partner is, like, when I say he's like a mad genius, like, he is one of those guys that literally doesn't rest until, like, we got it. So the name...
Relentless.
The name was like a 3 to 4 month process where we was just like, what is this? Because we went from snaps, we went from crowns, we went from doing other languages of hats or like truths or legacy. Like it was just so many different, like we knew what we wanted the business to look like. We knew we wanted the model to be. We knew we wanted this high-end boutique hat store. Like we knew that. Now, like a name, that was the part where it was like, we don't know. So we kept playing with like the stars, like wanting that to be like a symbol of what we wanted a logo to be. Because, you know, when you think of a new business, you want to have like some type of lettering name, and then you want to have some type of symbol that symbolize what this name is, like the polo horse, like, you know. Yeah. So trying to figure out like, all right, outside of the star, what else can we add to that? Like, so we played with like different planets for a minute, and then we played with the name hats for a minute, and then you come across like different brandings and different other companies, and you start being like, hold on, wait, it could be as simple as Capanova, like Capanova.
See, when I thought of Capanova, I thought it was a mix between, you know, Cap and Casanova. That's kind of what I thought, and it just makes it stick because it's a word that you already know.
But it's so crazy because I hear so many different people tell me like what they got out of Capanova, like what was they.
What's the craziest thing you usually hear? What are some of the coolest things you've heard?
Well, one of the coolest things that I thought was like, oh, okay, maybe I am on the right trace of things is that. I had a guy come in here and he said that he thought that Capanova was literally like the hat baby of Fashion Nova. So because we had so many different varieties, he thought it was like, I can see that. I can see that. It literally went hand in hand. And I'm like, okay, so my marketing is amazing. Like, wow. So I felt like that was a good, you know, turnout for that. But honestly, I haven't heard as many stories about like what made Capanova name. It's more so like people are like excited about that name. Like that just fits so perfectly. Like, how did you guys come up with it? And it's honestly, it's a team effort. It was a lot of, nah, that don't sound right. Like, nah, that sound crazy. Yeah. And that's why I think a lot of people have to understand that this is a process. Like, you don't wake up one morning and Capanova is born. Like,
not at all. No.
Like a star is born, but it literally took a 9-month process for it to be like.
See, the funny part about that is, you know, when people talk about overnight success, I don't think overnight success ever happens overnight. It's usually like, for example, one of the first people I could think of is Ice Spice, but then also Drake, right? These are people that it seemed like once they were on the scene, they've just been here, right? But there's always something that you can look back on as far as what you think is when they blew up and what was actually happening before that. So I think it speaks to that for you in Capanova, because a lot of people think that it might have happened overnight, but you were putting in plenty of work, just as you said that you put in a lot of work for the name. Yeah. So it is just interesting that happens, because a lot of people think things just happen overnight when they really don't. And
that, I feel like I have a testimony that says yes and no to that true fact, because for a minute when we first started Capanova, Newer was shut down. Like COVID had hit and they weren't shipping out any hats. They didn't have anything. So for me, it was like, I just started this business that's all about hats, and we don't have any hats.
Right. problems for sure.
That's a major problem. So for literally the first 6 to 8 months, I had no hat. Like I had nothing. Like I had hats because I had planned to open up a hat store. So you have hats,
right?
But I'm venturing into a lane where you're taking hats and creating a sneaker need. Like sneakers are dropping.
Yeah.
So we wanted to create this whole exclusivity over our designs of dropping hats. Like, you know, you have hat clubs, you have My Fitteds, you have all these different hat boutiques that are in New York or Jersey or Chicago. You have all these other places, but Cincinnati didn't have that atmosphere that really fed the hat culture. And Cincinnati Reds was the first ever MLB team. So it was like, how do we not have a hat boutique and we have the first ever MLB team? That didn't make sense to me. So
that's where some of the inspiration
that's where some of the desire came from.
Okay.
Like, I won't say it was inspiration because you can think all of it. Like, Cincinnati doesn't have its own basketball team. Like, you have the inspiration of all those different things. But I think the desire to like want to feed a certain type of niche came from realizing what the history was of Cincinnati and trying to feed that too. So just having a business for the first 6 to 9 months, you don't have what you desire to do when you opened up the doors for Capanova. September hit and we started doing little things and we started getting a reaction. It took us to have this one concept that was like, we created Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob.
Okay.
The whole series of SpongeBob SquarePants. We created hats off of that. So I think
that maybe that's a part of the reason like how I got attracted to coming in here. I feel like I've just seen random things on hats. Or let me not say random. Things on hats that I have never seen when I come in here.
And we're not allowed to technically do it. We're not. Because, you know, it's infringement. Like, you can't.
Yeah.
You can't take a company's.
Yeah.
You can't. So it's like, we didn't know that at the time. Of course, we didn't realize that what we were doing.
Y'all was just trying to get something out.
No, we just was having fun. Like, that was my thing is like, I have a very young staff here. Like being able to sit down with creatives that come to me at 17 and then be able to look at them and they're 22 years old. Yeah. It's like I basically I'm growing with you. So
exactly. And
they are in the TikTok time. They are in the Twitch eras, the YouTube's like the influencer, like as born in the 90s, you know, we at the tail end of the CDs and tapes. But we at the birth of Instagram, MySpace, and Facebook. So we don't really know how to like maneuver all these lanes.
But I do want you to talk more about that a little bit as far as, you know, growing with your staff, because when did you start Capanova?
2021.
Right. So
was it 2021? I think so.
So
no, it was literally January 1st, 2021.
Okay, because I think one of the
because this is 24 and we're going into 3 years.
Yeah. Because when I look at your profile and I see 2021, I'm thinking, okay, so this is still fairly a new business.
We're very brand new.
And even though it's been 3 years, because I'll be coming up on 2 years for my podcast, even though it's still young, because you've been in it all the time. You're like, it's a baby, but trust me, I done grown a whole lot since I've started this. So how would you say you have, you know, grown with your staff?
I feel like being able to be around such young creatives has made me have like such a certain respect for freedom.
Okay.
I should say. Because growing up, I didn't have parents that told me that you can open up a business, that you can be a photographer, that you can be a podcaster. Like I was born in 93. I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
Growing up, you were told you go to school, you go to college, you get a good job, 401k plan, retirement, you're good. It was like it was a contentment. It was a contentment if you
like
get
so
me.
Like
you really get like me. Let me get comfortable real quick. Let me start preaching to y'all. But no. Like you really like get taught about contentment, and when you get so when you're very how do I say train? I don't want to say trained.
Conditioned?
Conditioned. Yeah. Conditioned is the perfect word. We're conditioned that if you follow these rules, this is the outcome. And in the back of your mind, you're like, but what if I wanted to? But what
try
if,
something?
You know, like, but what if I want it, or is this just it? Like I always had those desires or those questions in the back of my mind. Okay, I can't have a private jet, like, you know.
Right. Okay, so because the interesting part about, I think, when you're trying to go for these big old goals, these big dreams that you have, is the change that comes along with it, and when it seems like you're making progress or you're trying to do something different from your friends, from your family,
from everybody else,
you kind of have to, you're going to have to build
skin.
up. I was literally about to say
your
that.
Your skin has to be your exterior. Yeah. So getting back to being able to be around these guys, they were just fearless. Right. Like when I say like, they didn't care. They had this type of like, well, I remember just being out on a shoot with my photographer, Vaughn, and I'm like, I want this shot. And they're like, well, let's just climb the gate. And I'm like...
Yeah. But you were probably apprehensive and nervous. But to them, they were like, let's just do it.
And to me, of course, that's some stuff that when I was with my friends, we would do it.
Yeah.
Like that was just something, if we was out, we was doing something bad, let's just do it. They willing to get it on camera. You feel me? They are willing to break the law on camera to get the shot. That's in my head, I'm like, if we get caught, y'all got the proof that we just did exactly. Cause you know, and me, you know, with us, we like kind of think those different things. To them, they like, man, if it's gonna go viral, it's gonna go viral. Like, and that's when I realized, like, you know what?
Is that basically
to have freedom, be fearless? There's nothing, like, what else can stop you?
Right. And
what else is going to stop you? When you have that type of confidence in yourself that young, like, can you imagine being 17, 18 years old and being able to do exactly what you want to do?
Yeah, you got to have some gall, for sure.
You know, you like, and getting paid for it.
Yeah.
Like, that was being able to be around those young guys and girls, because I do have a couple girls on the team. Being able just to see them live that free, it's just like, it makes me want to go harder because I want them to still want to be here. Like, you know,
so it sounds like
a high turnover rate.
It sounds like that's something that's kind of a mindset that maybe is growing within you. So I'm guessing you didn't have that when you started it, but you still started it. So like, how did that?
When you start something, you don't expect people to like. You don't expect everyone to have the same fight or the desire for yourself, like as yourself, for your business. Like when I started Capanova, I knew my partners were going to have my back 110% because shit, is their money in it.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like with my team, I feel like they have shown me that this is something they really believe in. Like one of my first ever employee, his name's Keean. He runs my LA store right now.
Shout out to him. That's what's up.
Started, like, when I was at Exclusive, I had hired him as like just a sales rep. I was a manager over there, like, and I felt like he had.
So that's a relationship that you've had for a while.
But I felt like he was like his first day there. I'm like, he's too clean for this, and I don't want to say that, like, because Exclusive is a culture. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's culture over there. You know. Yeah. It's a lot of things that you wouldn't see in other places that's Exclusive, and that's just because of the comfort level people feel there, because of the family or the familial aspect of it. People have such a respect for other people that they let them just do them without second guessing or judging anything they got going on. So I feel like with Ken, he was just he had so much other things that he could help me with. Like, I was trying to move in an aspect where if it ain't coming through the door, it's coming through online.
What you mean? Explain that.
If the money not walking through the door, it's coming through online. You feel me?
So we're going to get it one way or another.
One way or another, these bills are getting paid. Okay. And I needed somebody that could just not only create a culture around Capanova in store, but also help me figure out a way to create hype and revenue from anywhere else in the world. And Keean was that person. And He only lasted at exclusive for literally 24 hours before I told him, I don't want to turn you off. Let me figure out if I got something else for you. And it took me 6 months to create to get even Capanova like started for him to walk in on it. I just kept saying like, I got this project. Just be patient with me. I think it was like 6 months to a year. One of those things. I can't even remember how long it was, but he was patient for a very long. I remember he told me he was working at McDonald's. He was working at FedEx. He was working at all these different odd jobs because he was so young. I got him before he was even 21. So it was like...
But he was waiting on this opportunity from you?
And didn't know what it was. Had no idea what it was.
Because from this story, what I'm hearing is he had... So both of you basically had a belief in each other. Yes. You had a belief that once I find this opportunity, I want you to feel this opportunity. And it seemed like he had to believe in you when you said, I'm going to have an opportunity and I just have to trust that you're going to bring it to me. And then you both had to be patient.
This thing came about. There was a manager here before him and he eventually, not even 90 days later, ended up filling her spot. Then he became the guy who ran this thing for me. My job was to work on the business. His job was to work in the business. And he had created such a healthy environment amongst the staff and amongst the customers that we had. He's a young Asian kid.
Right.
Working in a predominantly Black establishment.
True.
So he's dealing with So
he
had just had this such a comfort level where he just was him, and I respected it so much that I was like, man, I used to tell him all the time, give me 5 years, I swear to God, I'm moving you to California. And I was able to do it in 2. So shout out to Keean.
Dang, shout out to you too, though.
For Keean for believing in the girl.
Shout out to you too, though, because I mean,
thank you.
To basically believe in someone else.
Graduated college and literally less than 30 days later was moving to LA.
That's huge. Like you moved somebody else. Some people don't, appreciate even the smallest things, but to be able to see somebody believe in them and then say, I'm going to move you. No, not me. I'm going to move you out there to help me.
Because I feel like to help Capanova, that's the thing. Like when we both started this journey, we both realized that this was going to be our moment to be free.
Wow.
So it wasn't more so like for you to help me. It was more so like, you know what? If this is something that we both believe in, like you're a better fit for there. You're going to go out. You're going to be talking to people. You're going to build connections.
But did you ever have a fear of trying to have a team with you and growing this thing? Like, because, would you not say that this is like your baby, right?
This is my baby.
Okay. So when you bring other people into it, was there never any fear that somebody else might kind of tarnish that?
This gonna sound so cocky, but I've only had that happen to me one time, and it only take one time for me to be a fool.
Right.
So if you give me a certain feeling, my gut gonna tell me like what your intentions is. Like, regardless of how you walk in here, I am very picky about the people I allow being here. Like they will tell y'all, like my staff will tell people all the time, you can turn in your resume. 9 times out of 10, she's not gonna call you back.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's not because I'm like, it's just that I know what I'm looking for. Like when you have a team that literally is videographers, photographers, designers, coders, like everyone on my team literally can do just about anything.
Okay, but
so you can't come over here thinking that you about to just ride our coat wave. Right. Listen, we the 96 Bulls over here. We get nothing but rings, my dog. You feel me?
But you said
nothing but rings.
You said that there's a certain thing that you're looking for. So what is it that you're looking for? Because people are going to see this and say, "Dang, this is something I want to be a part of. This is something I want to help grow." So what is it that you're looking for?
I know when I see it. It's a feeling.
Okay.
It's a vibe check.
I can't be mad at that.
It's a vibe check. It's like when you and I first met and we literally had a conversation
about Beyonce.
Just about Beyonce. Yes, of course. We had a conversation about Beyonce. But I felt like at that point in time, because of how open you were about just the conversation, regardless if it was about Beyonce or regardless if it was about a celebrity in general or anything, you just the the tennis match, you know?
Yeah.
It wasn't like a debate. It was more so,
this is what I think, what I feel, but I want to hear what you also think.
I want to take back what I want to, and that's what I think I love most about people is the desire to have a conversation, like to be present and be in each other's faces and to exchange energy and to be able to be like, you know what is on your mind? What do you feel? Like, what do you think? Like, being able to have a staff that represents that. I have friends that represent that, and I have a family that represents that. So it's like in all aspects of my life, I'm only accepting certain kind of energy. I
will say, for every time I've come in here, because I guess it's time for me to pull out some of the hats. I have several hats from here.
Yeah.
So, boom. Here's this right here.
That's my homegirl.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Spidey.
I got this right here. And then I got this right here.
Yeah, that's a beautiful.
Of course, with the one on my head. This, I think when I bought this one, I was the most nervous about that because I didn't have nothing to go with it.
I designed
this.
That
one. I like the Bengals with orange, so I can always do that. And then we got the Reds. So I mean, the Bengals on it still, but yeah.
The Twisted Strands is actually one of my homegirls that I went to. I didn't go to school with her. We grew up together.
Yeah.
She does patchwork. She literally finds the patches. She goes to different stores and she literally puts the hats together herself. And
see, I like this because it was a woman with locks. It was a black woman with locks on here. And I'm like, I've always had like an affinity for that. So I always appreciated that.
And she's a black woman with locks. So she dropped me off some and we've been selling hers hats here. I think we're actually so out of them.
But no, what I was going to talk about really quick was when you said that there's a feeling that you get, I will say that from everybody that I've seen in here that works in here, I feel like for most of them, I've held some kind of conversation with them. And we talking, whether it's their genuine interest or where we talking about sports, where we went to high school, where we from, anything like that, we can have a conversation. And then I was also able to do that with you, which I'll be honest, I was surprised about because, so we did talk about how the store is, you know, still a baby technically, right? But I think a lot of the times when I think of people that own a brand, they, you know, stress. Naturally, you're stressed, but I feel like people are a little, maybe not bougie. There we go. A little more bougie. When I talked to you, I said, oh, she cool. Yeah.
I'm right over there. Exactly. Sitting on the counter.
And I just appreciate that because I think that contributes to the experience that you get when you walk in here. Because even when I'm in here and I'm talking to the staff for a while, when other people walk in here, they'll act like what just happened. Somebody will ask me how much this costs. I'm like, I don't even work in here.
Yeah, because the atmosphere is so relaxed that like, for me, it was, thank you for that too. I appreciate you
no problem.
Noticing how much we invest in the aura of Capanova because we know that we want you to come back. Like, this isn't a place where we're like, just come get a hat and get the hell out. Like, no, like, we want to know what kind of hats do you want to see? Like, we want this to be a direct contact for you to be able to be like, you know what? I want this. It's not, I'm not saying I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Right.
But I am saying that the suggestions, those, it feeds back into the oil meal, you know? We just want it to be like a consistent machine. We're not doing this because like it's nothing else to do. You feel me? Like we're doing this because we have a true desire of creating crowns. Like for me, that's like, for me,
nice way to put that.
Is literally what you cover yourself with. Like it's a security blanket. Some guys literally won't leave the house without a hat.
Right.
So you have to understand the connection of a 5950. I just told y'all. I was trying to explain. So let me get directly into the camera. Okay?
Get back into that. Explain that one more time.
When I steamed this hat here and I had peeled off that sticker, they didn't understand that when you slide a perfectly steamed fitted on your head, it sends a shiver up your body, and it's just like it's really like it's a science to fitteds. Like if you really love your hat, like you really have a connection to it. For me, I really love, this is one of my favorite hats I've ever designed. Ever designed. So when I steam it, and it come out perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I slide it on my head.
See, I'm actually
can't tell me nothing.
I'm just now getting into hats within the last year. And I'm starting to realize something was missing a lot of the time. Because if I have a nice hat to go with a fit, I start thinking, oh yeah, it completes it.
It's literally like, come on. It's like a checkpoint at this point. Like, you literally from head to toe, perfect, flawless.
But I also think it's interesting how I think that's also making me more accustomed, I guess, to a fashion sense and fashion in general, because I've never called myself the craziest dresser. Like, if someone wants to be best dressed, any of that, I'll say sign me off, because that's not me. But as I'm growing and coming into myself, there are things I'm starting to learn I like about what I wear or what I like to wear. And I definitely think coming in here, getting some different hats, it widens my my wardrobe, but in a way, I think that kind of expands my personality. I don't know if that's getting too deep or not.
But that's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
Like, fashion is an expression. Like, the way you dress yourself is an expression of who you are.
It is.
You're not going to put on anything that contradicts who you is as a man.
Right. I think it's just because I know... So
you're not thinking of it that deep, but at the same time, you're not going to put on anything that contradicts who you are as a man.
I guess
you might not go out and get the most expensive thing. You might not go out and go get the most flashiest thing.
Yeah.
But you know your comfort level, and you know you're not going to represent yourself.
It's like I'm going to throw on something that I just don't like.
You're not going to put on a dress.
No, I won't. No, I won't.
You're not going to put on no heels. And this is no diss to anyone that would. It's just the fact of the matter that you know who you are as a man. You're not going to dress that does not like reflect that. And I feel like that's one thing that we have to understand as like people. Like, for me, I'm not a big designer girl. I don't be on that. Like, I like what I like.
Yeah.
I like what I like.
The only reason why I looked at you like that is because you say you're not a designer girl, but you design hats anyway.
But I'm saying, when I say designer girl, I'm not like I'm not a Louis, Gucci, Fendi, red bottom type of girl. Like, to me, I like those things. I have those things.
Right.
For me, I like when I wear them. But red bottoms kill me. Those are the worst shoe ever in the world. I will burn them. If they didn't cost so much,
sure you want to keep this in just in case ain't no endorsements in the
No, I'm saying that it just hurt.
Yeah.
I'm saying I have them.
Yeah. And
they are the perfect like fashion statement piece, but they hurt so bad. And at this point with where I am in my life, I just want to be comfortable. Like, I'm not looking to be the fashionista, but at the same time, I'm gonna throw that shit on.
Okay.
Like, it's a balance of both. You feel me?
That's
like,
a bar.
For real, it's a balance of both. And I feel like if you're not trying to be some type of healthy balance of anything, then you're just completely boring.
I will say, like I was talking about with the hats, I do feel a little more of a confidence. In certain, I don't always need a hat, of course. Most of my life, I haven't been wearing them. But when I do wear one and it goes with a fit, I'm thinking, dang, I wasn't doing this for a long time. Because, I mean, I used to have long locks. And I used to feel like I couldn't wear hats. And then ironically, right after I cut them off, I met a guy in a hat store, because I was one of the first things I wanted to go do was get a hat. I met a guy in a hat store. His hair went down his back and he was getting hats. And I'm thinking, dang, maybe I could have been doing this, and I could have been kind of getting my fashion thing on. Huh?
I go up to 8.5.
I think I do too.
That is the biggest hat size that
I'm always looking for that every time.
Literally. So it's like you could have tampered with it. I think that's just one thing that people don't understand, that there's levels to hats. Like, you don't have to just wear a fitted. You don't have to wear just a snapback. Like, if you could fit an adjustable and you have dreads, then you can definitely fit a fitted. Because adjustables, they don't fit anything bigger than a 3/4, 7/8. If you wear 7/8, you can't fit a snapback hat.
And almost like you speaking a different language. When you start talking about it, no, I'm just saying, because I think that's what I'm starting to realize. I'm just starting to realize for people how deep in, hat culture they can get. Because I know for me, I'm just now really getting into it.
The community of hats is huge. Like, I think that's what people in Cincinnati don't understand, that the community of like 5950 fitteds.
Yeah.
That is a community all on its own. Like when I had
I didn't know that.
My previous designer, his name was Day Day, we call him Supreme. On his graduation, instead of wearing like his graduation crown, he wore an actual fitted.
Oh, that's kind of hard.
Because that's how deeply indebted he was into the culture of fitteds. Like when we did our LA grand opening, we had literally a line wrapped around the building from like 2 blocks up. And it was just like, because we were opening up that first ever hat boutique in the streetwear area of Beverly Hills or Melrose or whatever it's not Beverly Hills, it's
also,
like Melrose.
You said it was the first what?
We were the first ever like hat boutique to hit the streetwear culture.
Also, you really out here trailblazing.
Yes, stop playing.
Oh wow.
There wasn't now like it is another hat store in the vicinity, but we were the first like actual new era platinum account to hit Fairfax.
Wow.
There was a Lids in a mall, maybe a couple like miles up or something of that sort. But when it came down to Fairfax, Capanova was the first one there.
See, also what I want to touch on is when I first heard of Capanova and I saw that it was in LA and Cincinnati, I thought it started in LA.
So why would they come to Cincinnati?
Right. But when I saw that it was a flip, I said, oh. And I know that takes some work because obviously LA is a big market. And to start here, of course, I always ride for Cincinnati as my city, my home. But to see something come from here and then go there, and I just know that that's a stepping stone for other places I'm sure you want to go. I thought that was cool. And it kind of speaks to the hard work that you have put into this brand and into this product, because it's growing. And that's like a proof of concept. It's here. And this is where it started, but we're also going to take it to this market, show you that it works, and take it somewhere else.
Yes.
So I will say, how has that helped you to grow as a person as well? Because I'm sure you've dealt with fear, excitement, disappointment, all these different things. So how have these helped you to grow as a person as your business continues to grow? I
mean, I feel like, for me, this whole process has been like a learning lesson or a stepping block to whatever is for you is for you.
Right.
Like ain't nothing. If you meant to have it, it's gonna happen. Because everything that could have possibly gone wrong for Capanova has gone wrong.
Really? We
open up in the pandemic. New Era shuts down.
Yeah, that's a tall task right there.
What? As soon as we get like back moving, we do this whole bikini bottom little concept, and New Era hits us with the no hooking allowed or you're going to get sued for infringement.
Right.
And then you start back up again. We open up our LA store, and not even a month or two later, another big platinum account opens up like less than a mile away from us, So I feel like everything that could have gone wrong for Capanova has gone wrong. And yet we've decided to pivot. It ain't this. We decided to pivot. Like we decided to keep it going. We decided to keep pushing. We decided to change the game plan. For us, it's never been like give up or like say fuck it.
Yeah.
It's always been a fact of the matter that we need to. All right, well, what's next? Let's go to the drawing board and have a team that shows up and be like, all right, what you want us to do? What you need me to do? What's the plan? So I think having the resources that I have definitely paved a lot a way for me to do this. But I think because of what I was doing prior to this, that I've been blessed with that team. Because like when I was 13 years old, I started throwing team parties in Cincinnati. Like that was me coming off the porch. I was out here passing out flyers and doing little college parties and just, involved in all types of stuff. Kind of
entrepreneurial already.
As a child. Yeah. Like, and being told. It's
like when we children, we don't think of that as entrepreneurial.
We don't think of it like that. And then being told, like, you're popular, so do this for me. And having other people utilize what I was to them and not really realize what my value was. That also taught me a lot about having an actual team that believes in what you got going on, because they could have been just a part of the ride just to get their own freeway, but that's not the case for me.
Helping you to grow this thing.
That's not the case for me. So it's like being able to go through so many different trials and tribulations between being a party promoter, then thinking that I was going to be a PR rep with the music culture in Cincinnati. Like, I've gone through a lot of different stages of my life. To get here, it's like, you know what? God got his hands on me, because what's for me is for me.
Wow. Because, I mean, like I said, with the podcast, I've learned in the short time just how much work it takes to grow something. How much fear is going to be involved with that, how much disappointment, but how much excitement also happens, and how much passion and drive you have to even keep going despite all of that stuff. Because you'll have time, because again, you'll have times where you think you might show it to some of your friends and you would think that they're your biggest fans. You won't always get that. I
have friends who have yet to still see what Capanova looks like.
Wow. And
that's okay with me.
Right.
You know, I'm not upset. I just know that you're not that kind of friend, and it is what it is.
It is. And that's why I'm saying, like, the thick skin, you have to build that up, because they still might be your dog. You dying, you can call them, they'll help you out, but they might not like this. But because this is still something that you want to do, you still have to do it, because if it's something you want to do and it was like,
ain't no plan B.
Yeah, like if it was something that, God deposited in you, right? And then you don't do it, you kind of doing yourself a disservice. Because just because people don't like it, don't mean it's not something you should do. So
I remember seeing this meme, is like people saying, it said like, people ask for the cake and don't realize God has gave them the flour, the butter, the eggs, the milk. Like, he's literally gave you every single thing to go inside the cake, and you spit in his face by not utilizing all of it. And I feel like I've gotten to a point where I've been able to utilize all of those different ingredients and create what it is that I wanted. And I'm not going to let nothing stop me from that. Like,
that makes you feel powerful, don't it?
I am powerful.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I am powerful. Yes, I feel powerful because I am powerful. And I feel like because of the type of, like, people praying for me, the people that root for me, the people that support me, the people that like are depending on me, that makes me powerful, because I can't let them down. You feel me? I don't have no other choice but to make this shit work. You feel me?
I hear you.
There is no other choice but to make this work, because ain't nobody trying to go back to what they was doing.
Right. Especially when you are loving what it is that you do, with the stress that comes with it.
With the stress, don't get it twisted. Yeah. I'm overwhelmed, I'm overstimulated, and I got hella anxiety. Right. This shit is not easy. It's not. It's really not. It's no part of it that is easy, but every single step is worth it.
Wow.
Every single step has been worth it. There's no part of me that felt like I should have chose something differently. I don't wake up not one morning since I've started Capanova and been like, I don't know what the fuck I got myself into.
Really?
If anything, I will say I don't know what I got myself into, because I can't believe I'm actually going to do this.
Oh,
that's how I look at a lot of things. Like even down to doing LA, it was like, well, we need to do a second store in order for us to be taken seriously, because the culture in Cincinnati is just not what we need it to be.
Right.
So we need to go to a big city. We need to be in an atmosphere of people knowing what's what. So we look at our website. Who is the number one city shopping on our website?
Wow.
And for us, it was Los Angeles, but I just thought, like, man, that is crazy. Why would I open up in Los Angeles
when I'm from here in Cincinnati?
And I haven't even been open nothing but, a year and a half?
Yeah.
You know?
Dang.
Like,
yeah,
2 years?
Quick.
Like, I come on, that makes no sense. Why would I do that? And then my partner's like, shit, why wouldn't you do it? I'm like, you know what?
You got some good people around you.
And that's what makes me feel like I'm powerful, because if they believe in me,
yeah,
why ain't we?
Wow.
Why don't we?
You definitely have some good people around you.
One of my partners, he told me, he said, I don't have anxiety because God got me. And at that point, I realized you can't be scared to do Nathan.
Nathaniel.
You can't be scared to do Nathan.
Dang.
If God said it's yours, then what you scared for? Go to church. Go to church if you're scared. For real.
So,
shout out to my editor too, because she told me the same thing.
So I do want to ask you about discipline a little bit. So would you say that through growing this, you've become more disciplined?
Any of my friends will tell you that I'm probably one of the most disciplined people they've ever met. And it's not because of like things I want to do. I feel like God puts me in stages where I have no other choice but to be disciplined. And it was a period of my life that I dealt with so much like disappointment, depression, and heartbreak that I literally shut down. And for 3 years, I went off of social media. I did a whole 1.5 years with no meat. I did 8 months of that as a vegan. So I literally cleanse. I mean, I'm
that's
even still to this point, I'm celibate. Like,
okay.
So
shout
it's
out
like
to you on that.
For me, it's like my discipline. I feel like whatever conversations me and God have, I know what I need to do in order to get on the other side. Like, he may give me a list of 5 things, and I might only do 3 of them. Those other 2 might be like, he might be like, okay, I'm gonna be a little patient with you, but we gonna come to some type of compromise. You feel me?
Yeah.
Me and my God, we compromise, and I know that might not sound good to other people, but he knows my heart, and he knows that what I'm working towards. So when I ask for certain things, and he tells me like, well, you gotta not do this, or you gotta stop this, or you gotta. So my discipline is a different level, just off the strength of me understanding what's at stake.
Understanding what's at stake. That's a good way to put that. Because I know for me, I've asked many of my guests about discipline, and I think that's one of the things I've noticed is one of the biggest things you have to master.
Sink or swim.
To basically get to where you want to go. It's a hard thing that you got to do, kind of. Because, I mean, it's going to be times where you want to do the thing that you got to do. And there's going to be times where you don't want to do the thing at all.
That's me in the gym.
And you still have to. Okay.
Me in the gym, this is my first year. I've actually I've had to pray about the gym.
Whatever it takes.
Because I'm not, young tenderoni no more. So that weight is coming, and it's coming at a different pace. Right. And I don't know how to duck it like I was. Yeah. Like, you feel me? Yeah. It's coming, and the pounds is packing on me. They packing on me. So me in the gym, if I could have as much discipline with the gym as I have with sex, I'll be amazing.
And so that's the other part about discipline, though. I feel like it spills over into other areas of your life. If you become like that in this part, you start saying, if I could do that there, I'm sure I could do that here.
Just get out the bed.
Yeah, that's part of the battle. And then just be on your way. I know what I used to do. So I'll give you a tip, I guess. Even when I wouldn't want to go, I was moving so fast that I couldn't even.
That's what I need to do.
Yeah, like by the time I was thinking I didn't want to go, but I was already 5 minutes away from the gym. I would be like, I don't want to go, but I'm already here.
But that's
so now I have to walk in there, or I just wasted gas and came over here for no reason. So you just gotta execution and action. One of my
employees told me, he said, if you keep telling yourself you hate it, you gonna hate it.
Ooh. Okay. That's hard. Okay.
And I'm like, well, that's like telling a depressed person to be happy.
Okay.
Of course.
It's not easy.
It's not easy, but I get what you mean. So, I'm working on it. I can see Tina the talking tummy.
No, I don't think anybody was noticing that before you did that.
She all up in here.
But, I mean, I think at least you can be honest like that. Because I
have no shame.
I can tell. But what I appreciate
I'm
about
a Beyonce fan.
Yeah.
Beyonce fans don't have no shame.
Man.
We willing to
I would say one of the coolest things about meeting you has just been like I said, I feel like usually when you meet the owner of anything, that might make you want to tense up. Feel like you have to, you know, be one kind of way or another. But when I met you, I was thinking, oh, she is cool. If she cool, I'm pretty sure, you know,
it trickles
from top
down.
Yeah. And then everybody else that I've met has been cool. So again,
you came in on me and Alec debating on Joe Burrow.
Oh man.
Yeah. You came in on a lot of conversations.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's not do that. Because football, that'll have me here.
We was literally in here for 3 hours debating.
Were we?
I was in debating with him for 3 hours.
And then I was in here, I think, an hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a half.
Dang.
And you came in, you talked about Beyonce for an hour and a half too.
Wow. Yeah, I did. See, and the duality, the complexity, just the range.
Yes.
But what would you say are some of the biggest things that you have learned in this journey toward, you know, growing your brand that, you know, would help other people to do the same?
I feel like giving yourself grace.
Okay.
Like is like a really big, like, it plays a big part in it because I had to mess up a couple of times in order to kind of find my rhythm. And then even still today, I have to create a different rhythm and I have to find a different pattern. Like you're never going to reach a point of contentment or satisfaction in a business where at a point where you feel like you can relax. Like for me, I am a partial owner, but at the same time, I'm a CEO. So until I'm no longer the CEO and I can just be a partial owner, then I can't relax, you know? Yeah. As a CEO, I am literally the person who answers every single question. If that person, like, and I have bosses in place to be able to, you know, help. I have supervisors, I have store managers, I have GMs. Like, I have all those different things, but at the same time, it's like, if they don't have an answer, I have to create one. There's no other, like, you know. So for me, it's just giving yourself grace, understanding that some things may not work out and give it time. If it don't, then literally pivot. I feel like understanding that there's always tomorrow. Like, if you can't get it done today, there is tomorrow. Like, that whole concept of sleep when you're dead, that's stupid.
I've heard a lot of people say that. Yeah.
It's stupid. Sleep when you're dead is stupid. Look me in my eye, I'm telling you, it's stupid. Running off of no energy, like, you have to understand that your body is a temple. Like, that if you cannot function, you cannot function. Like, what part of fatigue and exhaustion tells you that you are going to be doing your highest grade of work?
I think we just convince ourselves of that.
But that's like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yes, I'm aware.
So.
Okay.
But that's where discipline. Like, nah. But that's where discipline comes into play. Like, understanding, like, okay, I can't do this because I got to do this, or I can't have that because I got to have this, or I can't. It was a period of time I was on a bus. After having a brand new vehicle, though. When I say God humbled me, brought me to a very low place, to a point where he's like, nah, you need to be here for a second. Like, you need to be this intimate into the stay down for you to really understand that what I'm about to give you, you can't take for granted. So it's that type of discipline that creates opportunity. You ever heard the proper preparation? Yes.
I actually wanted to touch on that because you had posted it when you were, I think, kind of getting ready for the new year. And you were saying, you know, when you prepare enough, the opportunity will come and then you'll be ready for it, basically. It was, you had posted on your Instagram.
Yes.
And I was like, dang, that's true. It's just the preparation doesn't always happen when people see it. It
took mine 3 years. Like, some people stay down for a month. Some people stay down for six months. Yeah. Some people even a year can change their life. For mine, 3 years of nothing but turmoil.
Q, we've definitely talked about a lot, and I'm definitely grateful and appreciative that you have been able to share so much with us, of course.
Made me feel so sweet.
So, I do have like 2 questions left for you. So, first one is, what are some pieces of advice that you basically have for people that are trying to do the same thing? Mm-hmm. And just go ahead and answer that one first. Yeah.
For people that are trying to do the same thing as
that are trying to basically make something of themselves or want to grow a brand, different things like that.
Just find your niche. Mm-hmm. Find your lane and get 10 toes down in it. Like when people say they stand on business, stand on business. Like if you say you're going to be a photographer, be the best goddamn photographer out there. Mm. Understand what the grind is. Understand what the work ethic is. Understand that you're going to have to take some L's. Understand that you're going to be out here creating just for motherfucker to see it. Like just understand that. Understand the process. Like I think everybody wants to get the end result without understanding the process. And there's so many things that you have to go through in order for you to be great. So I don't know one GOAT that didn't have to go through a couple L's to become the greatest. So it's like just, stay down. Find whatever it is that you want to do and get intimate with it.
Right. Okay.
Make love to it.
And everything that you've experienced up to this point, what would you say is the most beneficial lesson that you've learned?
The most beneficial thing that I've learned is, it's so many different things though. Like to remain coachable, to just because you're the boss don't mean you can't listen. Like, sometimes that you want to sit back and you want to hear other people's thoughts. Like, give people room to grow. Like, don't try to ever keep people underneath you. I think one of the things that, like, I've learned most is to just really, like, just believe. Like, whether it's in yourself, the people around you, like, of course, don't be gullible, but at the same time, just believe in what's in front of you. Because why do you have this vision if you ain't supposed to see it through? Like, I don't get that. Like, I really don't believe that God will put something in front of me and not give it to me. Like, I couldn't understand that. I can't understand that process when it looked like it's attainable and it looked that good. Like, how could it not be mine? Like, why would he give me this vision or this imagination or give me this?
Keep seeing the same thing.
Why is that not attainable for me? What make me different? Yeah. And I feel like just understanding that it could be you, that you are like, you're not the exception, but it could be you, right, to be in that winning seat. So why wouldn't you do everything in your power to be there?
Yes, ma'am.
So
you shared a lot, as I said.
I feel like I rambled a lot.
No.
You can be honest, did I ramble a lot? Did it sound good? Okay.
You are so funny.
Because I'm off that double XL.
Oh my gosh. But so are there any last thing that you would maybe like to leave with the audience of the highlight reel?
Come see us. 26 Short Vine Street. You can always come see me, have a conversation with me, I'm
she
always
cool
here,
peoples, telling you.
Well, I'm not always here. Let me not even say that.
That's also true. That's also true.
I said, I'm always here. No, I'm not always here. But if I am here, I am approachable. I am a human. I am a regular person. I am not one of those popular girls that people think, quote unquote, that you can't really come up to. I just really feel like, if you want to connect and you're ready to create, let's go.
Yeah, I definitely got that vibe. Because you were, when I asked, like, can we do a podcast? You were like, yeah. I said, oh.
Because that was easy. Because what's the hold up,
That was easy.
Like, what is really stopping you?
Right.
From being, like building a community? Like, why can't we have that atmosphere? Why can't we be why can't we fuck with each other,
Yeah, and then we, of course, shot it in here. So I think that also just adds another layer to it.
I just feel like at the end of the day, you just want to, I'm an artist and I just want to really be around art all the time, whether it is in the form of radio, of a conversation created by you, or if it is an art show that's curated by an artist, or if it's, just being in a studio and an artist is creating a mixtape. I just love being around art, and it just fuels me. It makes me want to just be involved. So, and it's inspiring too.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
Even having you here and you busting all this stuff out, just seeing how you set it up, it's just like,
appreciate
you know what? When somebody wants something, they're going to figure out how to get it.
Facts.
For real. Like, yes. You know, like,
yeah, for sure.
Whatever your sacrifices was for tonight, to be here tonight,
yeah,
that's appreciated because you showed up. Like, you wanted it. So, you know, that's all I got to say.
Yes, ma'am.
Just be about it.
Well, once again, I want to say...
if you're scared, go to church.
Okay. I want to say one more time, thank you, Q, for dropping some knowledge on us and just, you know, blessing us with your presence and being able to have this conversation. I really enjoyed this.
Thank you,
and I also want to say thank you to the listener and thank you to the watcher of this episode. I hope that you've been able to take something away from this episode. Again, come check us out here at Capanova. This is a great store. You can get some fire in here. Y'all gonna see some more hats in the future that I get from here. I'm just letting you know. But I hope that you've been able to take something away from this episode, and that's been your episode. Peace out.